This is your math gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic. This is our 8th example solving a basic equation that contains a fraction. All right, so we have negative 3/7 x equals negative 8. All right, so one way of doing it is to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of negative 3/7 on both sides, since that's a coefficient of x. Now be careful here. You probably want to write it like this so you remember that's multiplication. It's not a subtraction side like minus 3/7. So if we multiply by the reciprocal, what would that be? Would it be 7/3? Nope, there's a problem here. This would give me a negative still in front of the x. So remember, you also have to put the minus sign. It's a negative 7/3. So on the other side of the equation, I have to always multiply by the same thing. Okay, so now these cancel, right? The negative and the negatives cancel. The 3 and the 3 cancel. The 7 and the 7. And I'm going to be able to solve for x. So x equals, all right, what's going on over here? I have a negative times a negative, so that's going to be a positive. I just put the positive signs right here to kind of remind myself the answer is positive. And 3 doesn't cancel into anything, so our answer is simply 56/3. You have to do the 8 times 7 to get 56. All right, let's start out the same problem. Negative 3/7 x equals 8. I'm sorry, it was negative 8. Another thing you could do is if you notice the coefficient of x is negative, you could multiply both sides by -1. That really means just take the opposite of both sides. In other words, change the signs on both sides of the equation, which means you could write 3/7 x equals 8. The shortcut is to actually, you could just do this, okay? But I'm going to show you what it looked like originally, so that's why I'm doing it down at the next step. All right, so if we do that, and then we go and proceed to solve this, I can just multiply both sides by 7/3 still. I'm just not having to worry about that negative 7/3 like I did before. So multiply both sides by positive 7/3. You're going to end up with the same thing. X equals 56/3. Okay. And what's the other way we talked about? The other way, instead of multiplying by the reciprocal, is to start by just multiplying by the least common denominator. So you can multiply both sides by the least common denominator to get rid of all fractions. That's all called clearing the denominator. So if I do that, again, I want to think of that as times. So there's only one denominator, 7, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 7. So the 7's cancel, and I get negative 3x equals negative 56. And now we could divide both sides by negative 3. Remember, not just to divide by 3, because you want to know just what x equals. So you want it to completely cancel here. And we'll get x equals 56/3. Again, I like providing these options. Some people don't like it. They go, just tell me how to do it. But you know what? There isn't just one way to do it. There's like 5 or 6 ways to do the same problem. People look at things just a little bit differently. They might go about it a different way. But in the end, you could still end up with the same answer, x equals 56/3. As long as you're using the correct property of equality, which means you have to, whatever you multiply by on one side of the equation, you need to multiply that same number on the other side of the equation. All right, so let's check this answer. So here's our original equation. We're going to make sure that 56/3 is the correct answer. So on the left side of the equation, we have negative 3/7 times x, and we're going to plug in the 56/3. And we're going to simplify this left side. So first of all, is it going to be positive or negative? Well, I have a negative times a positive, so that's going to be negative. And let's see, the 3's cancel completely. And then I could do 7 into 56, and that goes 8 times. So I'm going to get negative 8. So the left-hand side simplifies to negative 8, and the right-hand side simplifies to negative 8. So indeed, this is the correct solution. And if we want to write that using braces to show our solution set, it would look like this. You just put the number inside the braces. And this is reduced, so it's okay to be an improper fraction with a bigger number on top. But if you want, you could always go ahead and divide and write it as a mixed number or as a decimal. As it turns out, though, this one would be a repeating decimal. This is your Math Gal, Julie Harland. Please visit my website at yourmathgal.com, where all of my videos are organized by topic.